All right, this is Maximus Analysis here for June 16th, 2015, and going into the close, we see that we are holding these critical levels. Again, we have FOMC tomorrow. We don't know where that's going to go. Greece underlining tones of default, but again, who knows? But what we do know is that they've been holding this 2070 area, 2080 area. We'll see if they'll be able to pop. Again, I remember I spoke to you guys about the contract rollover. So even if they came into this area, you need to be very careful that they're not going to be selling into it because they went from the ESM contract to the U September contract. You could tell the difference between the M and U is about, as of this morning, it was about 100,000 difference regarding volume. So again, you can see that the U contract got rolled over, and that's what caused the gap down. And if they pop into it, that just means that maybe these billions and billions of dollars that these people are investing, they might just be using the Fed to kind of pop them up so they can sell into this rally because of the gap in the contract. So just again, we want to be very aware of that and see how the price action is. Also, FOMC tomorrow, be very careful trading it if you're trading options or actually anything, because what you will see during that time, and why a lot of people say, including myself, to just stay away from it, is that you'll see the widening of your bid and ask. So what will happen is that if you have your bid and order in really tight, or not even tight, just where they can see it and not be enough pain for them to go reach it, you won't even see the price get there, but the spread will widen and catch your bid or ask, this buy stop or sell stop, and you'll get stopped out immediately, and you'll say, what the hell happened? Because I didn't see price get close to it. So again, you're warned. Let the stuff settle down and go from there. NQ, pretty much the same thing. They're holding that 4,400 level. YM, they bounced up a little bit, but again, we have to make sure that we understand that, yes, they have an up day, but that was all United Healthcare, Goldman Sachs, and Nike. If you look at the rest of the 30 names on the Dow 30, they did absolutely nothing. So let's see, again, we have to make sure that we are aware of not looking at what the overall number is, up 100 or whatever, and see what entailed that out of the 30. And you can see that if they have basically, I think out of 27 out of 30 were less than 50 cents up. So be aware of that as well. The IWM, so all caps, again, I'm not really looking at this one as a market leader or as an indicator. I want to see the ES. So let's go into the Google. We see that it's sideways. And again, we've been in since May 8th, we've been pretty much in about a 25 point range for a $500 stock. Is a lot, from 560 to 535. From this area here, it's pretty much just been bouncing. So again, you see weakness. We're right at the 50% of this previous range, which we've been talking about for weeks, and we want to make sure that that stuff is recognized. Amazon is still looking fairly good. Again, it's just a tight sideways range, and the gaps is making it a little bit difficult to see what's going on, because again, the overall markets are not really doing much. You have Apple again giving very, very weak sauce right here, going into FOMC meeting, but again, I wouldn't trade this at all. I just want to see a pop, break up, or break down. You can't deny that the underlying trend is to the upside, but you cannot be blinded by just saying, okay, if you're in from this way, you're not an investor or you're a swing trader. I talked about that yesterday. There's a huge difference. Netflix, again, we see that it's holding pretty well. So if you bought, even if you were aggressive and you bought at this, you should be about 1-to-1, and you should be able to roll your stop. I'm just nervous because of how light this volume is right now. You have the pop up here, you have the light volume going into here. But again, if it continues, at least you could say you locked in some profits, or at least halfway of this previous candle as well. Maybe if you use that as a stop. You got crude. Crude has not really done much. It actually had a very, very tight range today, so we don't know if this is accumulation or distribution, because you can see you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lower high. We want to see where it kind of breaks accordingly, because again, for crude to only be in a range all day of 95 cents, that's not the typical behavior of crude in any way, shape, or form. So again, we want to see what they're going to do, and we make sure we're looking at the underlying trend, which is to the downside. We see the dollar. The dollar is, hovering. Again, it's just having this 24 pivot, but again, it's still just hovering, and this pivot needs to hold. And we also have the bonds as well that are holding for now, but I think that they still have some more downside to go. So going into FOMC tomorrow, be very aware, be very careful. And that's been the underlying tone for a while, which is kind of corny. And like, I want to just trade, but do you want to trade the chop or you want to trade the trend? If you want to trade the trend, then you're going to have to wait a little bit longer until they define what's going on. Because again, if you're looking at the ES, it's been very, very choppy. You're talking, we're going back to March. That's been moving pretty sideways. Yes, there was money to be made, absolutely, but there's probably more money being lost, and the brokerages are probably making more on commissions now than they ever do. Because guess what? They make more commissions you getting in and out, in and out, in and out than this. Because this, you bought if you even got to this level, and you held. You bought, you got to this level. They make more money, bought, held. But right in chop is a commission's dream, and you won't want to be hurt so badly that when the move actually does happen, you're paralyzed in fear because you got beat up so badly because you could not wait for your proper setup. Take care.